Now, I've been in the business of strategic marketing for about 10 years, latterly in running the Global Future Forum for Unisys Corporation, looking over the horizon, and I've just become convinced over the last 7 years that we sort of need to think more structurally, positively about what we do about these insights that we gather. I want to share sort of what's changing and where it's changing in the world and who is it likely to impact and when might it happen and what might the consequences be, and then sort of why respond to that? You know, why pay attention to what's not on our plate already to deal with? And then finally, actually something useful. What can we do about it? We use the same tools to investigate the future as we use to investigate history. And as we learn more about the future, we refine our view. And that's the same about investigating the past. The more we learn about the past, we refine our view about the way that it was. Lord Kelvin would have been thought to be the person you would have gone and asked his opinion of anything to do with physics. So they asked his opinion of radio. He said that had no future. Heavier-than-air flying machines would be impossible, and X-rays would prove to be a hoax. So how did it turn out? Okay, well, we did invent heavier-than-air flying machines, and when we did, the Boeing engineer on the launch of this 10-seater said, there will never be a larger aircraft. Here we have the 1,000-seat A380 Airbus. I mean, can you imagine baggage reclaim on one of those? The key practice about this is that we're very poor at seeing new horizons. We often think we've arrived at a destination because we live in a project-oriented world. Most of us run projects. We start them, we end them. It's very convenient to think in projects. We're living in continuity and discontinuity. We just happen to be living in a time where we're seeing our bit of change and the world moves on after we've gone. So nothing is going to stand still. That's good news for some people and it's challenging for others. Let's take another example. We looked at radio. Now, when first people started muting the idea that TV might have a place in society and distribution, in the US and the New York Times, they said no one would ever have the time, surely, to look at a device. The radio is going to remain king. Well, you can imagine what happened then. Of course, we now have these dominant machines that are in our rooms, our lives. Everywhere now we're surrounded with TV. Every single device that has a pulse will have a screen on it. Yeah, do you believe that? Your telephone's got a screen on it. 5 years ago, did you imagine your telephone would have a screen in it and you could watch a film on your telephone? Just 5 years ago, you couldn't do it. Things are coming up not just through technology, but through social change, through world order change, through political change, that wipe away the way things were done before. Completely change the landscape. I like talking about tomato ketchup. Tomato ketchup came in this iconic bottle. Fundamentally, it didn't work, but it was so attached to the brand and the value and the perception and the distribution and the marketing that it was kept for quite a long time. Now, eventually they did studies and found out that people turned it upside down and kept it in their cupboard. So they put a big flat lid on it so that you could stand it on its head. Look at the innovation closely. Examine it carefully. They've turned the label over. That's what they've done. They've turned the label over, and it took them from 1872 to 2002. 130 years to turn the label over. You don't need 300 innovations in your company. You actually just need one.